Good morning and welcome to Unity Spiritual Center, RGV, Sunday morning online spiritual experience. We are very happy, in fact we are delighted that you have joined us this morning for this time together of mindful contemplation, affirmative prayer, meditation, and music. Unity is a positive path for spiritual living. We offer a unique approach to spirituality. We are love-based and all-inclusive. We embrace an open heart and an open mind. We are spiritual, not religious. As an inter-spiritual community and divine love in expression, we draw from and honor all paths to source. We envision a spiritually transformed, peaceful world. We have no dogma, but we do have 5 guiding principles that formulate our philosophy. Our foundational belief is that all is one, and our foundational practice is living in the present moment. Once again, welcome to Unity, a spiritual breath of fresh air. Let's begin this morning by lighting our Unity candle. I invite you to take a deep centering breath and let's focus on some words about healing this morning as our nation continues our way through this pandemic. The Spirit within is my all-powerful healer. Myrtle Fillmore, Unity co-founder, wrote, "Thinking right and eating right go hand in hand in keeping one healthy. I care for my body physically and mentally. To keep functioning at an optimal level, I nourish it with nutritious food and physical activity. On a spiritual level, I exercise my awareness of spirit. I feed myself life-affirming thoughts. Praying from the awareness of my highest potential, I claim words of wholeness, strength, and vibrancy. With these words, I bless every aspect of my body from head to toe. Every organ, every tissue, every cell is filled with the vibration of perfect health. As these thoughts are digested into consciousness, true healing occurs. My body and mind respond to this life-affirming prayer. Spirit within me is my all-powerful healer."
Where I am, God is. Where I stand, God is standing strong. Where I breathe, God is breathing life in and out and through me. Ask me where I sing, God is. Where I dance, joy lives in my feet. Where I live, beauty's flowing free, in and out and through me. As me, for where I doubt, God is the faith in me. Where I cry, God is the comfort there. Where I seek, God is the answer. Here and now, forever and ever and ever. Truth is, where I work, love is my career, and where I play, God is playing boldly, in and out and through me, as me. Oh, oh, do-do-do. Oh, hey, yeah. Whether I am, where I stand, whether I play, where I work and breathe and move and feel, where I sing, where I dance, my dance, my dance, wherever I go, where I pray and take and give and leave. God is, life is, joy is, oh, God is.
Join me now in Unity's statement of being, which is shared around the entire globe at every Unity Center. There is only one presence and one power active in the universe and in my life, God the good, omnipotent.
I won't pretend that I'm alright. Not sure I have the will to fight, but there's a storm that's coming our way. Yeah. Can we find the courage to stay? Where will we run? There's no one to save us, who'll save us, nowhere to turn. So find the strength that's inside us. I'm counting on you, and you on me too. Let's stand our ground, gotta make shelter now, be a lighthouse to everyone. Let's come to life, let's look alive and shine a light. Let's come to life, let's look alive, gotta make things right. Let's come to life, let's look alive and be the light. Let's come to life, let's look alive and look alive. I know we may not look the part, but maybe we have a hero's heart. Feels like we're breaking every day. Oh, we're letting all the dark parts fall away. A day has come, it's time to rise up and show up. We are the ones to change the world that's around us. I'm counting on me and you, the whole Let's stand our ground. Gotta make shelter now. Be a lighthouse to everyone. Let's come to life. Let's look alive and shine a light. Let's come to life. Let's look alive. Gotta make things right. Let's come to life. Let's look alive and be the light. Let's come to life. Let's look alive and look alive. Look alive. Hey, look alive. Let's stand our ground. Gotta make shelter now. Be a lighthouse to everyone that's lost. Let's come to life. Let's look alive and shine a light. Let's come to life. Let's look alive. Gotta make things right. Let's come to life. Let's look alive and be the light. Let's come to life. Hey, look alive and look alive. Let's come to life. Let's look alive and shine a light. Let's come to life. Let's look alive. Gotta make things right. Let's come to life. Let's look alive and be the light. Let's come to life. Let's look alive and look alive.
Unity teaches that man is endowed with 12 faculties. And they are part of our abilities. They comprise and reflect our divine nature. And they are love, imagination, power, judgment, understanding, zeal, illumination, faith, life, order, will, and strength. Today's power is judgment. Judgment, sometimes called wisdom or discernment, is a faculty of the mind that can be used in two ways, from our sense perception or from our spiritual understanding. If our actions are based on sense perception, then the conclusions are subject to being error-prone. If based on spiritual understanding, they are safe. The revealing word. So today's affirmation is, I claim my power of wisdom now. I wisely know how to use divine ideas. Now comes a time when we like to practice our gratitude, because gratitude is such an important practice to do on a daily basis. So is forgiveness. So today I want to work on gratitude a little bit, and I want you just to use a little technique wherein you take a deep centering breath and you close your eyes and just bring into your heart space someone that really, really you are grateful for, that person or that thing or whatever it might be is in your life. And from that place of gratitude, we say, deep gratitude fills my heart and mind. During times of quiet contemplation, I bring to mind everything I have to be grateful for. And those thoughts fill my mind like wildflowers blooming in a field. My gratitude practice keeps me calm and confident as I feel gratitude for everyone and everything in my life. I am filled with joy, and that joy touches every part of my being. Sharing my joy is a wonderful way to feel aware of the divine spirit within. Every day, I am grateful. And so it is.
As we start this time of inner reflection, let's begin by getting comfortable. Remove all objects from your lap. Place your feet on the floor and sit up comfortably in your chair. Relax the muscles in your face, shoulders, arms, hands, and fingers. Feel your hips, legs, feet, and toes relax as well. Release any areas of tension you feel in your body. Take a deep, centering breath. Slowly inhale, gently hold for a few seconds, and then slowly exhale. Repeat a few times. Focus on your inhalation and exhalation as you continue to relax your body. Gently breathe in and out. Just relax and breathe naturally. You now feel the increased sense of relaxation with every breath. Feel calmness and peace wash over you. Now let's center our attention to the daily word for today, which is free. Our Bible verse is from Acts 17:28 and reads, "In him we live and move and have our being." Today's affirmation is, "Living from my divine nature frees me." Let's say that together once. Living from my divine nature frees me. Our message reads, "Sometimes I feel limited when I don't think I have enough time, money, space, education, or experience. These thoughts can occupy so much space in my mind that I begin to think limitation is the truth of life. The greater truth is that I am free and unlimited in spirit. Alive in God, I am free to express all the love, wisdom, and strength of the divine as only I can. What joy and liberation it is to know that nothing can separate me from my true spiritual nature. If I believe any circumstances in my life or any of my past actions obstruct or delay my spiritual progress, I now release that belief. Embracing and living from the divine presence, the Christ within me, I claim freedom from all limitations. Now let's close our eyes and take these words and this affirmation into the silence.
Silence down in my soul. I love the silence down in my soul. soul. I love the silence down in my soul, and the whole wide world is my home. I've got a new day down in my soul. I've got a new day down in my soul. I've got a new day down in my soul, and the whole wide world is my home.
Hi there, Unity Rio Grande Valley. It's good to be back with you. I'll say that it's good to be back with you, although I'm very, very sorry that you're not able to meet in person again. There's nothing like being together on a Sunday morning and getting to hug and getting to share what's gone on with your week and just to be back physically with people. But it will happen. It's just around the corner, won't be long, and in the meantime, I get to be with you. So I'm very, very lucky and very fortunate in that respect. Today, I want to share with you a talk that I've given in various forms before. The reason being is that aloneness, being alone, feeling alone, whether we're not physically alone, is just something that comes up over and over again, not just for me, but in conversations I have with people. I hear the comments all the time about not feeling connected, not feeling that they're really with others, whether it's in their church community, whether it's in their family, or there's just a lot of aloneness. And we know what those feelings end up being. So think back in time. It may be a time to when you were little, or it could have even happened a week ago in two different scenarios. So what are some times or situations where you felt alone? First, alone in a good way. And in a good way could be, oh goodness, my house has been full of kids and finally they're back in school. Or grandkids have come for a visit and they're finally gone, and whew, I'm alone. Oh, that's such a relief. It's alone in a very good way, where you can breathe a sigh of relief and feel like you can catch your breath and regroup. Or you might have been in a huge crowd of people, not in recent times, but think back when you've been in a big crowd and it was almost too intense. It was just too much. And you left an event or left a situation, got back in your car and you thought, oh, thank goodness, it's just me. It's peace and quiet. I'm alone. That feels good. So alone can be very good. But then there are also the times, being an introvert, alone never really bothers me at all. The physicality of being alone is not a problem. But think of some times when alone wasn't so pleasant. What were those feelings like? Could it have been a fallout with someone that you were in a relationship with, and all of a sudden that person wasn't in your life anymore? Could be a relationship, it could be a family member, it could be just kind of that yucky feeling of feeling alone after they've left. Or it could be in a new situation where you move to a new city, all your life had lived in a place where you were surrounded by family and friends, and all of a sudden you made the decision to move, and you didn't quite know people like you did back in your old place. Even though it's exciting to be in a new place, you're all of a sudden alone. There's that lack of connection. And sometimes you have to make, another situation might be where you made a tough decision. Something difficult happened or was about to happen, and you really felt, even though you're surrounded by people, you felt alone in making that decision. There's nobody that really understands the situation. There's nobody that understands how you feel, but you feel totally and completely alone. So our humanity sends us down the road of looking at life and aloneness from our perspective, from our human perspective. And what we see as it relates to our physicality, our bodies, our situation, our state of mind. But you know this, and I know this. We are never alone. Not at all. Not one tiny little bit. We have the feelings that we just talked about, and we experience them super deeply, very deeply. But the reality is that we're not alone, and we're never alone. There was a mystic, Julian of Norwich, who is an important Christian mystic in the 15th century. And in former, I won't say just decades, but centuries past, people felt like in order to be closer to God, they had to go apart from the world. Like Julian of Norwich, who chose to, she had an illness, and during this illness, as she was getting well, she saw visions of God, and she felt like, oh, this is something that I really want to tap into. And if I want to tap into it, then I'm going to have to pull apart from my community and go live alone. And so she chose to live in what's called a cell. It was actually a little building close to the church in Norwich. And she lived there by herself so that she could be closer to God. But we know that taking ourselves apart isn't always the answer. There have been monks in centuries past that said, in order to be closer to the Creator, to Krishna, or to whomever they chose to hold in high regard as their source, that they had to go live in caves. They had to pull apart. Well, we don't have to do that. We're taught in unity, and we know this because we hear it a lot, that God is so much closer than that. God is so much closer than out there, out beyond us. God is in fact within. And if this is true, and we choose to believe it, we choose to believe these teachings, why is it that we still end up feeling alone? So to revisit a little bit of basic metaphysics within unity, let's consider what's often thought before we're introduced to unity. I'll call it pre-unity, pre-waking up to possibility, thinking that unity teaches us. We're often taught in a religious setting, or it could even be within our family, as it was in mine, that God is out there. God is somewhere. He's the big guy. It's a he, and he's the big guy out there somewhere. He is the provider of all good and all that is important in our lives, but he's out there. He's not within. He's not part of us. Out in the floating on a cloud, up in the sky. And we still see this. And I do this too. Sometimes I'll look up thinking of, I need you, help me, calling upon the Spirit, which actually we know to be within. But then when we are aware of unity, we come to realize that God is within us. So did God just change zip codes all of a sudden? One day he was out there and now he's in here, a he. God is everywhere when we need him, her. God is in here when we think about it. Intellectually, we know that God is omnipotent. So let's consider some of the words of Charles Fillmore. It's wonderful and exhilarating thought that the kingdom of God is within us. The kingdom of God is a term used by Jesus, which is the same meaning as omnipresence. Omna, everything, presence. As far as the individual human being is concerned, the very heart of omnipresence is within our own being. Since God is beyond all dimensions and all limitations of space and time, it is correct to say that the very center of omnipresence is wherever any person becomes centered in that presence. Person can only become centered in himself. And Jesus says, "For lo, the kingdom of God is within you." As when Jesus came to the earth in physical incarnation, Jesus had the same, was in agreement, total agreement with spirit. Charles Fillmore was in agreement when he came along. We may take Mr. Fillmore's words quite seriously when he teaches us seeking the kingdom of God within changes our whole mental viewpoint. And what Charles Fillmore, is hoping for and suggesting that when we become aware that God is within, that changes our viewpoint forever. At that point and forever. Now, I don't know about you, but I need reminders all the time. I know what the facts are. I know what the truth is. But having someone, anyone, reminding myself on a daily basis, God is within, is so important. By making the sincere effort to center oneself in omnipresence, wonderful changes of consciousness will occur. It doesn't happen one and done. I've said it before. It's not easy. It's simple, but it's not easy. Good interchanges will find ways to manifest into the outer, beginning with the health of the body and then into the many affairs of daily existence. God can't be forgotten. God cannot be forgotten. God cannot be ignored. God actually, I'm just going to say, God does not lose at the game of life. God always wins. God is a force of nature that is always the winner, is always there, but is always patient and willing to wait until we remember and re-remember and re-remember once again. Jesus reminds us the kingdom of God is within you. And Charles Fillmore teaches us that if we just catch on, if we just believe, if we just embrace over and over and over again the notion that the kingdom of God is within, it will change our whole viewpoint. We can go along feeling alone, feeling by ourselves, and then all of a sudden, oh, yeah, I am not alone. I am never alone because God is always with me. It's not unusual for us to go along happily doing things our way. We are in control until the feathers hit the fan. And then, yes, that's right. God is with me. And then we remember it's time to call in the troops, call in the omnipresence that was there all the time, never left, because God always wins. Love always wins. God always wins. It's 100% totally impossible. Just like gravity. We can't say one day, I think I'm going to give up gravity today. I'd kind of like to float around. I'd kind of like to go hit the ceiling. I'd kind of like to go up to the 15th floor of that building. I'm going to forget about gravity today. Well, gravity just doesn't allow that. Gravity is there all the time. Omnipresent. Not maybe the best metaphor, but omnipresent, just like God is always there. And also, as Charles Fillmore teaches, the kingdom of God is now existing right here in our midst, which means it's present from the minute we come into the world. It is being externalized little by little. And he said this in Jesus Christ Heals, that it is externalized little by little. So we're sort of given a pass on the fact that we don't always remember it, that God is here, that God is omnipresent. Okay, Charles, thank you for letting me be human and letting me know that little by little I'm building up muscle strength, bench strength to remember when I'm down, when I'm feeling alone, God is in fact here. Charles also said that the externalization of the kingdom of God is one aspect of our purpose on earth. In order to do this, we must learn how to grow it in dominion and mastery of existence. So yes, we're perfect when we come into this world, but we also forget. We are also forgetful. We can't demonstrate the kingdom of God if we haven't first learned to be useful and dependable in the down-to-earth business of ordinary existence. This means that living each day, every day, not like a monk in a cave, not like Sister Julian of Norwich. We're out and about in the world, in amongst people, hearing things that bring us down, hearing things that make us feel alone, hearing things that make us feel like we're the only ones that believe a certain way, when in fact God is there all the time. Living this life, we're growing in dominion and mastery of that which is it about. And over again, the Bible, especially the Christian scriptures, we're in that, in the Christian scriptures, we're told by Jesus and then his disciples that we are blessed and taken care of. They remind us, when Jesus left the earth in his earthly incarnation, he left the message with his disciples to continue to teach. Keep teaching these people, keep reminding them that they are not alone. They're not going to get it the first time. Before he became, in the Hebrew scriptures, before he became King David, who was a shepherd, was often felt alone. He was out watching his flock, and it was him and the sheep. That's all he had. It was a very, very lonely existence. And if anything, he came to realize that God was with him always. In his aloneness, God is with us in our non-aloneness, in the crowds, in the hectic hustle and bustle. And as the shepherd boy David sang in the Psalms, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want." And if nothing else, I've used that from time to time. I shall not want, reminding myself that can be a mantra. I shall not want. I shall not want. This may seem like a bad time right now or not what I had planned, but I shall not want because God is with me always. Also in that same psalm, David sang, "Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil." And so on as the psalm went to completion. He never forgot that God was with him always. Moving from oneness with spirit as we enter into the physical realm, through all those false times of separation. And that's what they are. They're false times of separation, false times of being alone. We're never alone, in the good times and the bad. It's a simple but not easy practice, as we know. A reminder to oneself that we aren't alone. We're not alone in our times of grief. We're not alone in our times of joy. We're not alone in our times of gratitude. When everything's going as we planned, when everything's going as the universe is planned, we can sit with the decision when we have a hard decision to make, knowing we don't have to make it alone, because we're not alone, because omnipresence, our source, our God, is there all the time. So David concludes his beautiful psalm with the words, "And I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever." This means that he will abide as we abide in the consciousness of the presence of God, the Lord. No matter what experiences come up, both challenging, both joyous, he never forgot. We will never forget that the Lord is our shepherd. We shall not want. We keep working to build and rebuild the consciousness of that inner presence, because it's never gone. It's a consciousness of truth, and it's a consciousness of the spiritual presence of the one who is always with us. And I'll leave you with that, and just keep working on it. Keep working on knowing that you're not alone. Love you all.
Thank you, Debbie, for that wonderful message, and it's so good to see you again. Now comes a time when we take our tithes and our offerings in our hands and in our hearts, and together we say, divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thanks again for joining us this morning at Unity Spiritual Center RGV Sunday Morning Spiritual Experience. We were so glad that you were able to join us today. Let's end this service with a prayer of protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.